How much do you know about Canada in the 20th century? Today, I'll be asking 10 questions ranging from easy to extreme. Let's get started with the first four easy questions. What city hosted the Olympics in 1976? That was Montreal. Which Canadian Prime Minister led the country for most of the 1990s? That's, of course, Jean Chrétien. Which 1917 battle is considered a turning point in the national identity of Canada during World War One? Think of Remembrance Day, Canada during World War One. That was the Battle of Vimy Ridge. And finally, which Canadian author wrote The Handmaid's Tale in 1985? Think back to high school. There's a decent chance that you read it. It was Margaret Atwood, who's actually pretty active on social media still. Moving on to the three medium questions. In 1917, what temporary tax was introduced to Canadians to fund the war? This was, of course, income tax, which still somehow exists today. Which major Canadian province did not sign the 1982 Constitution? Even if you don't know the answer, there's a decent chance you can guess it if you knew what was going on in the 1980s. Yes, it was Quebec. And finally, Tom Thomson, an artist who became famous for his landscapes, was part of what group of artists? You've probably heard this one before. It's the Group of Seven. And moving on to the hard and extreme questions. In what year did Canadian women get the right to vote? We could do plus minus a few years. But it was in 1918, so well over 100 years ago. In what decade was the CBC founded? It might be earlier than you thought, and it was in the 1930s or 1938 to be exact. Now, for the extreme question, more than 2,000 Canadian Forces personnel served with the United Nations Protection Force in the early 1990s through Operation Harmony. In what region did this take place? I'll accept a few different answers here. So that was in ex-Yugoslavia, but you could have said Croatia or Bosnia as well. Unfortunately, this conflict is overlooked a lot in recent history, but it was one of the most deadly conflicts in Europe since World War II, and it probably deserves more attention. Thanks so much for taking this quiz. Feel free to put your scores below or give suggestions as well, and make sure to like and subscribe as always.